Yeah, that's wishful thinking.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wishful Thinking Podcast. As always, Nick and Hadley here. Today we have a very special guest. We're going to get into it, but we just want to say thank you to everybody for always tuning in and supporting us. The numbers are going up at a rapid rate, and we're so excited, and we can't thank you guys enough. So without further ado, he's a founder, operator, and connector who blends commerce with purpose, building brands that give back while scaling nationally. From launching All CLE Coffee, a coffee brand that donates meals back to Cleveland, to running high-impact operations at Performers Lighting Chicago, Aaron Fazulak brings product, people, and purpose together. He's built businesses, helped launch festivals, and backs ventures across food, beauty, events, and lighting. Aaron doesn't just make products. He builds platforms that lift communities and bring attention to Cleveland. Aaron, welcome to the Wishful Thinking Podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in. Coming from Chicago, huh?
Yeah, I flew in this morning, had a couple other media appearances, but I was really looking forward to this podcast.
I appreciate that.
You know, doing radio and TV's a little more intense and straightforward, but this is a lot more fun.
Yeah. Chill.
Kick back,
So we want to start from the beginning, and that helps us to understand where you are now.
Mm-hmm.
So where'd you grow up and what was home like?
I grew up in Westlake, Ohio,
really?
Born and raised. Parents still live in the same house I grew up in.
Really?
Wow.
My dad was pretty entrepreneurial and smart. He was always tinkering. He was building, computers for us in our room, taught us how to build computers. So I had a love for technology, design, programming, things like that. And from there, my brother and I, we both went kind of two different ways. I went more the entrepreneurial route, and he went the graphic design route. And he's a pretty talented designer.
Nice. Wow.
But I jumped into, from the proverbial lemonade stands to a lacrosse company to eventually landing on starting a design school, which is funny enough what my brother ended up doing. So we taught people, if you're familiar with coding boot camps, those launched in about 2013.
Code Ninja is the one I'm familiar with.
Oh, yeah. Yep. There was about 100 by 2014.
Wow.
And no one was teaching people user experience design. So I got a team together, we launched it, and we eventually became the #1 design school in the country. And people were flying all over the world to Chicago to take our program. And the amount I learned from that, and especially going through an exit, we sold to WeWork, the big co-working giant, and we were able to open schools in 12 different countries in 1 year. So that was a rough year.
UX is huge. A lot of people don't think about the UX side when it comes to technology. So
for sure. And
so you sold that business and you exited out of it, or?
I did. Yep. After about 2 years, I got out of that business, but scaling a service was definitely an experience that you'll find out more. I carried forward. It's really hard to scale quality.
Wow.
That's fantastic. So I heard you mention the lemonade stand, but what was your first memory of wanting to start something actual, a business, a brand, or a movement?
Well, I think the lemonade stand, I'm not kidding. I ran around and started documenting when moms and dads would get home from work.
Oh, wow.
So then instead of just waiting in one spot, I had a roller and I would go when I expected them to get home. Mr. Murphy's home at 5:15, Mr. Tolman's home at 5:30, things like that. So I started to learn, if you try to be more efficient, gather data, you're going to get more bang for your buck with your time.
That's incredible. So who had you thinking like that at such a young age? What was an influence that was around you?
Probably I've just always been a very curious person, but my dad's kind of like an encyclopedia of information. He knows pretty much a little bit about everything. So I'd just be looking out the window on, long road trips, and I would ask just millions of questions, and I think that's where I got my curiosity from.
Wow. So you've built businesses in different spaces, tech, education, events, a product itself. What came first for you and why?
Which product?
What came first? And besides the coding and
I worked at Ernst & Young out of Cleveland, and I wanted to move to Chicago to eventually start a business. And the first venture I got involved with was driving into the city at night trying to build a website for a guy that was starting a club lacrosse team. Never played lacrosse, never watched lacrosse, had no idea what it was. But I learned a lot from that business because for a year we were promised equity, my partner and I. And one of the core things when you start a business is getting your legal documents right.
Right.
So after a year, we basically walked away with nothing.
Wow.
So that I took forward as an immensely painful thing,
Yeah.
but also a huge learning experience of the foundations of starting a company.
And that's a very important to everybody at home is try things. And if they don't work out, that's fine, as long as you learn from them. I think that the core message here is just don't be afraid to try something, and failure is okay.
Yeah,
You
100%.
learn.
100%.
I'm sure those failures and the learning experience have helped propel you further, and you implement those things in what you do now.
Yeah, the number one saying I use right now at Performance Lighting is action produces information. You know, you can try to come up with a plan and think ahead, but you got to get out there, and then you'll see where the wind pushes you. So again, action produces information.
Yeah.
That's amazing. At what point did you decide to anchor projects to Cleveland, like All CLE Coffee, the All Cleveland Festival, instead of just scaling somewhere else?
So after selling designation, it was March of 2020. I had a one-way ticket to Southeast Asia. I was going to go travel. I had just gotten out of a big relationship, and I was like kind of excited. I've got some money in my pocket. And the ticket was 2 days after the world lockdown. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting around enjoying myself. I was one of the millions of people that thought they were an amazing day trader when all stocks were going up.
Right. Yeah. And we all kind of made some money back then.
Yeah, it was fun. But I knew I wanted to do something again. And I wanted to do something that had a bigger purpose here locally in Cleveland. So the one thing about giving is people think about it maybe once a year, twice a year. That's the user experience of people that donate. I write a check once around Christmas or something like that. So it's trying to think, what's a product people buy on a monthly basis that creates a subscription of giving? And I'm walking through, Heinen's, and I see coffee, and I love coffee, and I buy coffee once a month. And it was as simple as that. I said, coffee's a great thing. People enjoy it in the morning. They're always buying it. And if we can get a good message out there, maybe get some celebrities involved locally to get the word out, we might have an impactful business.
Nice. So you just, instead of going to Asia, you reinvested back into yourself.
I did, yeah.
Have you made it to Asia since, or?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I don't think I've taken a vacation since.
That's fine. That's what it's like, though,
Yeah.
being an
I
entrepreneur.
like how you said like the subscription standpoint of it, because I didn't think of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a subscription,
reoccurring buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of things where you don't have it. Like a perfect example is what we do here as wedding DJs.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have a second-time buyer.
Yeah.
90% of the time we do not. And there's we've had one bride who's on her third marriage with us,
Yeah.
But hey, most of the time you don't get a reoccurring buyer.
At least you didn't blame you guys. Came back third time.
Right. I'm about to say bad luck. That's me doing the divorce.
Hey, she keeps coming back. So, what early on, were there any mentors that helped guided you, or people that helped you in building the things that you're building now?
I don't think I've met anyone that doesn't have someone that inspired them or mentored them. Like in college, there was a guy that ran the MBA program that I studied abroad with in Hungary. And he's a prolific entrepreneur. He's been in all sorts of ventures. And he saw a talent in me and would take me out to dinner, tell me what I want to do. We got to work on live client projects over there where we were trying to support small businesses with just basically consulting services pro bono.
Wow.
He gave me the vision that you can do it, and it can be a really fulfilling life. It's going to be a lot of work, but if you have curiosity and you want to continue to explore and learn, there's no better place to do it than being an entrepreneur.
So I don't think I've asked this question before on the podcast, but it's something I feel myself as an entrepreneur. Do you ever feel like you're not doing enough and you could be doing more? Because some people say that a common trait of successful entrepreneurs, rich people, etc., are this feeling that they're never doing enough, that there's always a need to do more. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, totally. And it's led me down this path of getting an accounting degree, starting a Lacrosse company, running a design school as not a designer, running a production company without any background in production. At least it's manifesting in the actions I take. I keep trying to challenge myself and put myself in places where I have to learn and learn fast. Yeah.
Wow.
But as far as not doing enough, just on a day-to-day, I mean, that happens all the time. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, your energy levels. And sometimes I've learned to give myself a break in some of those moments and do what's necessary to get that energy back, whether it's work on a passion project, go to the gym, things like that.
Where'd you go to college at?
Ohio University.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Getting a little fun school there.
That is fire.
Too fun.
So, yeah. So let's focus on turning ideas into execution. So walk us through how you evaluate an idea, whether it's something you actually want to put your time to, and just walk through the creative process of doing that.
Yeah. It has to be something that I enjoy already. So with coffee, I already enjoyed and loved coffee. My dad's one of the most avid coffee drinkers. He's been really happy that I started a coffee business with all the free coffee he gets.
I bet.
But he goes through 6-8 cups a day. And I remember my freshman year when I was having trouble focusing in my early classes, he had me drinking coffee. So there's a history there with the coffee. With performance lighting, I loved going to concerts, music festivals, playing guitar, learning music. And this was an opportunity to get in a space that, I wasn't good enough to be a DJ or professional musician, but I loved being around it. And that's what it is when you're in the audience. And with production, you get to be a part of putting a smile on people's faces. And the challenges that go into it and the hard work that goes into it, it's insane. I had no idea. I mean, sometimes now I walk into shows and I can't help myself but look around and think, man, that must have taken 16 hours to rig those 17 lights and motors and all that type of stuff. So, you have to start with an appreciation, and then is it a sustainable business model that's in there? And that's when you start really doing the planning and work. With the emergence of AI tools and ChatGPT, it's amazing how fast you can really rapidly prototype information and try to move forward. But I guess that's my process. It's got to start with something I like. Is it look like an actual business opportunity that'll make money? And then 3, is it a challenge I want to take on?
I mean, that's an interesting point you just made, is find something you like, but you said you were not a DJ or, a musician or anything, but you wanted to be in that space. So you found your own way to get into that space. And I think it's a valuable lesson is if you like something, let's say you like music like he does, and you are not a musician, find a way to get into it in some other capacity.
Totally.
So I think that's awesome.
So with all your companies and everything, how do you manage your time and attention to each one?
That was something I had to learn very fast. So the funny story is that when we were trying to buy Performance Lighting, this company's been around for 35 years, and the previous owner, to put it delicately, was a tough cookie. Took us over a year. The deal kept on changing. Started to feel like it wasn't going to actually go through. At the same time, we're working to launch All CLE Coffee, and I'm waiting for approval from our coffee partner, Joe Thomas, Stipe Miocic. There's a lot of legal documents and partnership you have to go through. And it happened to be the same day that one of our celebrities agreed to come on board, and the seller of Performance Lighting agreed. So I woke up and I was like, shit. Yeah. I got to do both of these. And the context switching from running a coffee company to a production company is really challenging. So you really have to kind of segment your day. But I've never had a problem just kind of being a bit of a scatterbrain, but you can't do that when it comes to getting the work done. So you can constantly think and be creative, but there's certain things you got to get done on a structured basis. So I try to structure my days with, 8 hours of one company and 4 of the other, and then based on needs, switch back and forth.
Interesting. And I'm sure hiring the right people has helped make that all happen. So when you hire talent for these different verticals, are you a local hire kind of guy, or are you a remote hire kind of guy?
So for some of the office work or Performance Lighting, you could probably go remote. But the work we do is basically all in person. We're building stuff in the back. We're designing it together. The clients are coming in. And then we're going in the back, building it, taking it on show site. It's a very in-person type of gig. Coffee, and especially a community coffee brand, you need to have a presence in the community. I learned very early on, we're trying to sell to offices. It's a lot easier than selling in retail in a sense that I can drop 100 bags of coffee off.
Right.
Or I have to sell one at a time.
Yeah.
So when we pivoted to offices, trying to get them to buy our coffee in bulk, and it's an immaterial expense to most of these businesses. It's better coffee, and it's going back to your Greater Cleveland Food Bank. That message has to go to the CEO. So I had a whole campaign reaching out to office managers, and office managers have a very busy job. For them to switch what they're doing requires, a lot of effort and change. And while it might not actually be that much work, the mission has to resonate with the CEO, and that decision has to come down. So you never know. You got to figure out who your buyer is, but also the purchaser is different than the buyer. Office managers purchasing, but the buyer really is the CEO.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting take.
Wow.
Bobby drinks a lot of your coffee, Bobby Boucher.
Oh, yeah?
Get on his story.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I need to get myself a bag or two. So let's talk about All Cleveland Coffee, then we'll start breaking down the rest of your brands. Tell us the mission behind that coffee.
So I've been a huge advocate of the food bank, and if it's the corest of human need is to be able to put food on your table and eat. And, there's a lot of big nonprofits that sometimes you don't know where that money's going.
Yeah.
And with the food bank, they are such a trusted brand in providing the most important thing to a human being. And you put $1 into the food bank, it turns into 3 meals. And, you create some exponential growth over time of the amount of dollars you're giving. You start to solve a budget crisis that exists over there. So the food bank was never a question for me. That's my favorite and most important charity.
So you donate $1 per bag that's sold?
Correct.
Nice.
And that's one other quick note on that is that the pivoting you have to make as an entrepreneur, and we bought 1,000 bags that said 4 meals donated. Inflation, by the time we launched, it dropped to 3 meals.
Oh, man.
So, woe is me. I mean, it was a significant expense that we had to take on again, but it's more of the message that people are even more in need. The price of food is going up.
Yeah.
So we had to obviously rebrand to 3 meals per bag.
And so that coffee brand, you mentioned it's partnered with Joe Thomas of the Cleveland Browns and Stipe Miocic, the famous UFC fighter. How'd you lock those guys in on that?
So one was the grit and grind, Stipe Miocic. I emailed people all around him. Started with the management group he's with in the gaming division. This guy responded, and I was actually talking to him about performance lighting. I wanted us to get into some of these productions for esports. And I was telling him about All Cleveland Coffee, and he goes, we manage Stipe Miocic. Would you like to get in front of him? So just a series of cold emails. Again, getting out on the field, action produces information. Yeah. It got me the right introduction to Stipe and his manager, and they were super excited. They love the food bank. They want to give back. And his career was, he had one more big fight, and he's been playing a huge part. And then Joe Thomas, my business partner, I think, had just a liaison to him. And I got halfway through the pitch. Joe Thomas has been working at the food bank since he was a rookie. And, it didn't take much for him to say, yes, this is an awesome cause.
That's awesome. And when we were talking before we got on the stage there, you said you are the least profitable coffee company in mankind.
Yep.
Walk us through that. I think that's just a funny thing to say.
Yeah.
Being a for-profit business.
Yeah. Well, the reason we went for-profit is we want to build an actual sustainable way of giving back. So we can find a way to make something where people can make a livable wage, work at All Cleveland Coffee, and we're giving back massive sums to the food bank. That seemed like an easier option than going the nonprofit route, and especially for recruiting talent and recruiting people onto the team. I think I lost my train of thought. What was the question again?
I was asking you, being the least profitable.
Oh yeah, the least profitable. So with everything, like economies of scale, the more coffee you buy in bulk, the more the price goes down, and we're a long ways away. But I think in about 2 more years, if we keep at it, we've doubled since last year. We're hoping to double again next year.
Good.
We'll still start to be able to bring on some more full-time people, pay some great salaries, and we'll be giving back a significant amount of money to the food bank.
Excellent. Love to hear it.
Let's get into the next one, Performance Lighting Chicago. How did you end up in the lighting production space and move into the Chicago market?
So I moved with Ernst & Young to Chicago, on that mission to start a company there. Started with the Lacrosse thing and stumbled into the design program. So now I'm here in Chicago. And I knew when the pandemic hit, I should keep my apartment because I'd built a network there. I'd built a name there.
Yeah.
I bet my next opportunity comes from there. There's a very good chance. And it did. My business partner played in an adult band, local bars and local gigs. The guy named Russ, and he was the president of the company for 20 years. And he was very excited about, new ownership, investment into equipment and people, and trying to create a cultural change. So Don walked in the back during band practice and said, "How much does he want for this place?" And Russ, almost shit his pants because he goes, "Just yesterday, he asked me to open up my Rolodex and find a buyer."
Wow.
So the timing was just funny.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's actually
And I was like, when he gave me a call, he goes, "What do you think about buying a production company in lighting?" And I'm like, "What? I don't understand. What even is that?" And he goes, "The lights at concerts." And I'm like, "That sounds cool. I mean, let's send over the financials." And the more I looked into it, the more I interviewed some of the staff and the clients that they worked with. I was like, this is a very rich and experienced company in a very big market. Live music's going to grow at a 10% rate over the next 10 years. And people are, as everything goes online, people are really striving to have those in-person experiences. So I thought from a personal mission standpoint, love music. And I love being in a space that's bringing people together when all of us feel like we're pulling apart.
Yeah. Being in the industry, the people who work within that industry love that industry. So you get a certain level of passion from the employees that really helps to propel you and your company forward.
Totally. We have people that come in that think they're going to have like all the glamour and that you're not the one on stage.
Yeah.
You have to find it within. If you don't like building and designing productions, and you're not going to like it because it can be a grind. Some, Lollapalooza week, we're going to work 16, 18-hour shifts for a week. Wow. And we got to tear it down when you're tired. Oh. And in the middle of the summer, it could be 100 degrees out.
Yeah, nobody knows what goes into these large-scale productions.
No one does. So there's a lot of, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed people come in, and they're like, "I want to be in music." And, I try to tell them, you got to make sure you really love it. And if you don't, you're going to be chewed up and spit out in this business.
And the skill level that comes with it, to rig thousands and thousands of pounds of, I believe, so my uncle is an audio engineer, and has been doing it his whole life, worked with a lot of really large bands. And I believe he said that it was the only industry that hangs hundreds of thousands of pounds for an extended period of time. It's just such a huge liability, and people don't understand.
No,
it takes a certain skill level.
No, and
that off.
And all my friends finding out that I'm in production, and I take them to shows, and we try to take them to some cool spots and access points that you can watch. The suites or VIP, and they're asking me questions, and now they sometimes yell at me. Like I look up, and now I can't help but think there is 100,000 pounds over my head.
Yeah.
You don't think about that.
You never think about it.
I would have never thought about that. I never think about it.
It's the real deal. It's serious. And you said Rolodex, cracks me up. 93% of our viewers don't know what a Rolodex is.
Yeah.
I just felt like throwing that in there.
Yeah.
How does your performance lighting company differentiate itself from others?
So going back to the grind of especially busy season in the summer. It's busy, because people want to get out and enjoy themselves, especially in places that have winter months like Chicago. Number two, you have all the winter venues and now the summer venues that are open. So you have twice the capacity of servicing, live events. And you really have to be able to dig deep and get through some of the very toughest times in the middle of busy season. On top of that, it can be a very mean place to work. There's a lot of old ways of things being done, and a lot of people mistreating and disloyal. And that was my first observation within 2 months, is that all these people have worked at all these other companies, and they were treated so poorly, including, some would say, the one before we bought it. So if we could treat everyone the best, you can have all the gear in the world. If you don't have the people that know how to build something, you're screwed. If you have the people, we can go sub-rent lights if we have to.
Right.
That can be done. You can't fix the other way.
Yep.
So focusing on the people, and our mission there is to be the best place to work for and with in live entertainment. And it's really funny. Everyone thought, oh, these guys are all corporate. I'm like, I'm not corporate. I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And it is good to have like a guiding light, so you guys know that I'm not making a decision because it's what I think is best or what my partner thinks is best. Is in alignment with being the best place to work for and with. For example, guys want to go on tour. Well, we only have 2 tours out right now. We better go get some more tours.
Yeah.
Or people want to be more creative and be more part of the design process. A lot of times we're handed, here's what we want, go and build it. They want to be a part of the creative process, so we need to burst into the design space. So we launched a new brand called Soulcraft, where we're actually working with C-suite executives to invent original experiences or events. And when you're at the C-suite, you get to be a part of the design process. So we're doing all those things in alignment with fulfilling the wants and desires of our team.
Excellent. So let's quickly go through the next 2 ones that we have here, and then we'll talk about All Cleveland Fest, which I want to spend a little bit of time on.
Definitely. So Spire Brand Ventures.
Sure.
What's the thesis for Spire? Are you incubating brands, investing, or operating?
All of the above, but mostly it's been invention. I know that we have Mock Skincare on there.
Yeah.
So Don started a company called Digital Kitchen, and for 20 years, they were, HBO, Nike, Coke. They were the place they called for marketing and production needs, as well as opening credits. I don't know if you've seen Dexter or the beginning of Westworld.
Yeah.
Those really creative opening credits that come out now.
Yeah.
They invented those.
Wow.
So Don has this. He's in the gated special community of Hollywood where we can really connect, and we're validated as creatives to build businesses. So with that, we saw these celebrity brands launching. Why don't we represent companies that have no access to getting, Matthew McConaughey? Let's go to a sunglasses company and say, could you see a big supercharge to your business if you had a business partner that had, global notoriety? So we represent companies. And then most recently, I can't really talk much about it, but a major A-list musician we're inventing a brand for. And then we put together the entire supply chain. We bring in a huge shark that knows how to do something at massive scale. And then we bring in the money.
Excellent. Let's get into the All Cleveland Festival stuff. We'll spend some time on that because we're going to get this packaged and shipped out, dropping this Sunday. That way it has time to air.
Awesome.
Before the event. And appreciate the invite. He will be there in full length. I'm DJing that day, so I'll be there maybe about an hour or 2.
Sure. Come and go. Get your wristband.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I had to make sure I was there. I'm like, I got nothing to be there.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll vlog it and stuff too. Do you have media passes or something we could have? Or?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
so tell us a story about launching this festival.
Yeah, so there have been a lot of funding cuts to the food bank, and politics aside, that's what I care about. So I'm like, all right, what is something else we can do within my wheelhouse? Oh, well, I run a production company. Probably could help that we know how to produce events. But this is another example of just going over my skis and then having to learn really fast. Being a promoter is completely different than being the production side of an event.
Yeah.
So I'm learning as fast as I can. I'm leaning on a lot of our clients. I'm saying, how do you reach out to influencers? What are the best channels to drive sales? What's your best ticketing platform? Which venues should you partner with? Things like that. And it's a really fun challenge. But the opportunity to use our brand, which is pretty well known in the community, we have Joe and Stipe. The food bank is well known as a cause that everyone cares about. And our background in production, we're going to bring a bunch of cool equipment. Let's throw an event. All the proceeds of the event go to the food bank. We're not going to make $1. So that's the premise was, what's another way we can give back to the food bank? And me, when I was 18, going to a festival, I came back, I'm at Burke Airfront, and I'm seeing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I'm like, why do I have to travel to all these other cities to go to a music festival? We're the city of freaking rock and roll.
Right.
Why don't we have a rock and roll festival?
Right.
And I'm looking at Burke Airfront, and I'm like, what if we had just a monster Lollapalooza-sized rock and roll festival right here in Cleveland with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and, in sight? And this is the first step in that. So year one, we want to prove out the concept, get the word out. learn really fast what it takes to promote an event, start to collect an audience. Year 2, our partners at AEG really would like to see this happen as well. They're kind of the biggest promoter in Cleveland, second biggest in the world. They've been incredibly helpful, and they've offered to really lean in. If we can make this one successful by year 3, we want to be a full-fledged 1 or 2 day rock and roll festival with, some of the biggest acts in the world.
That'd be awesome.
And the fun part with the mission is, we've had a couple partners come out through All CLE Coffee, a company called TRG Multimedia, if you're familiar with them.
Heard of them, yeah.
They've been around for, I think, 40 years, and they produce Fortune 500 commercials. They have 150,000 square foot production space, green screen, CGI, all of that. Not only did they buy a bunch of our coffee, they sponsored the event, as well as another company, Certified Pest Control, which does pest control services for 40 years here in Chicago, or in Cleveland. And I just wanted to quickly shout, people out. We wouldn't be able to do this if we didn't have some support. And it's kind of funny how the small and medium-sized businesses will come together to support something that supports our community.
Excellent. There's a lot of first-time festivals this year in Cleveland. We just went to the I'm From Cleveland Festival. Futureland is on its second or third year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you're in competition with these guys, or do you think Cleveland has enough space for everybody to grow?
I think Cleveland has enough space. I was kind of bummed I couldn't make it to the I'm From Cleveland Festival. It looked like a great time. Did you get a chance to go?
Yeah. So
Awesome.
Yeah, we
Kumar
vlogged it.
invited us out. We vlogged it.
Mm-hmm.
Check out our channel. You can see a vlog. It was awesome. Great time. It was great to see Cleveland really come together. And there were a lot of big names there from like Rook, Slam, YSM Flow, a lot of big Cleveland guys. So I think it was a job well done, and I enjoyed it.
Good. Yeah. A lot of people asked me that, and I was like, and they're like, do you want them to fail? 1, no, I don't want anyone to fail. And 2, if it did, people would look at our fest and go, it probably would probably make our fest look like it's going to be a failure.
True.
So I wanted to see them do really well. I've gotten a chance to meet some of those guys, and they're good people, and I really respect their entrepreneurial spirit in the city. And our cause is to give back to the food bank. So really, I don't think about competition. If there's more people going to festivals, more engaged in our music community, getting people out to realize that going to festivals and concerts is a lot of fun and a great way to connect to people, it'll hopefully help us achieve our mission of having a big, giant festival that writes a huge check to the food bank every year.
Nice.
That's
I love
amazing.
it. I love the idea.
What's going on, Wishful Thinkers? Just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors of these videos, Sound Precision Entertainment and CuffLink Media. Thank you so much for letting us use the studio and the equipment.
Sound Precision Entertainment is a Cleveland local-based wedding DJ company. CuffLink Media does photography and videography as well. So if you're in the market and you're looking for any of these services, whether it's weddings, outings, parties, or anything of the nature, make sure you reach out to them at spedj.com and cufflinkmedia.com. You have a flight. I'm trying to be respectful of your time. It's 5:30. Just give them a few halftime reports, and then we'll just finish off. So
Cool.
Halftime is just random questions. You could answer them to any length, and you could also decline to answer. Typically, we do 10.
Cool.
Just give them
Let's do
a
it.
couple.
I got them. These are more punchy too. I made them more punchy. So
Sweet.
number 1 on the list here. Would you rather know when you die or how you die?
How I die, for sure.
Really?
Because if I know how I die, if it's just old age, I'll just keep doing
Just
what I'm
keep-
doing.
keep rolling.
Yeah.
But if there's something I'm doing, like putting a Zyn in every day,
Stay away from the Zinners.
Stay away from something.
yeah, then I'll know I need to adjust.
That is
That's
funny.
funny.
Do you think people are naturally good or evil?
Naturally good.
You think?
And I would never want to live thinking the other way.
You
It's
think
hard.
So people turn evil.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing I preach all the time with performance lighting is to assume best intentions. It was a culture of negativity and people lying to each other and stabbing each other in the back. And I really had to overstate the fact that if you go into every conversation as assuming people's worst intentions, you're never going to get anything done, and it's not going to be very fun to work together. So,
And you're almost like living in fear at that point.
yeah, you don't want to, just don't want to live
Through
that way.
life
Right.
thinking
If you're, of course, if you do that all the time, you're gonna get burned. But I'd rather have 90% of my life living carefree and the 10% I get burned. You just move on from it.
Nice.
If you could get one song to play at every All Cleveland Fest, what song would it be?
Well, one band that would be really cool that, given the city of rock and roll and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if we could get 9 Inch Nails or the Black Keys or Devo, some of our, biggest names, I guess I'll answer it that way, which they have, an incredible catalog, all 3 of them.
It'd be cool to see maybe the All American Rejects. That was another big Cleveland name.
Oh yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
All right, let me hit 2 more, and then we'll get to the next one.
Sure, we can fly through.
Would you rather smell like onions forever or only be able to whisper?
Given that the world's gone so digital and microphones are getting really good, I think you can get away with whispering. There's probably some technology out there that could be developed for the chronic whisperer.
Especially the people who have like the speaking
yeah.
stuff.
That would suck.
Smelling like onions would be really bad. I mean,
Yeah. I don't think I couldn't lead a company.
Yeah,
people would be like, don't go work there.
Employees. How do you meet these C-suite executives smelling like onions?
Yeah, don't go work for Onion Man.
All right, we'll do one more. If today was your last day alive, what would you regret not doing?
It does go back a little to music, sticking with guitar. Now I do have an excuse, which is I moved into a building in Chicago where anytime I played, I'd get a noise complaint.
Damn.
But when I did move back to Cleveland and I had a little home, I got back into it. But I was like, man, where would have been if for 10 years I kept playing? So it's just more of a hobby and skill creation, but I don't think I would regret anything else.
Wow.
Fire.
I want to know what's your favorite restaurant in Cleveland.
Let's see. Given I spend a lot of my time in Chicago, but I would say Timetable in Bay Village. I went there all the time. Yeah.
It's a low key one. I mean,
yeah.
Wow. Chicago's got some great food too. I think Cleveland's like a Chicago in our
Yeah.
respect, where we have these pockets and all this high culture food.
And I have to shout out another one, which is Fahrenheit, obviously.
Fahrenheit's good.
In the city, yeah.
You want to tell him your favorite one? I think that's why I asked you the question, because he just loves talking about his favorite
My
restaurant.
favorite one's Cordelia on East 4th.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
No.
Oh my God. You need to go.
I go. Yeah.
If you weren't leaving, I'd say let's go right now.
No,
But
next week when I'm here all week, I'll have to go.
yeah, go, dude. It's really good. It's my favorite, and I just like to see who thinks like me in terms of the best food in Cleveland.
Yeah.
It's really good. So, real quickly, we'll finish up with just the future of yourself, and out of all the titles, what wakes you up in the morning? Which one's like your most burning passion out of everything that you do?
I guess technically, I'm kind of the leader of both of them. I really enjoyed leading people and trying to lead an organization culturally, and then hopefully strategically putting us in the best place to succeed. So they both are a similar position. So, and they both have the same fulfilling curiosity. So I couldn't pick one.
Nice.
How do you measure impact versus profit across philanthropic versus commercial projects?
Everything I've done usually has a philanthropic component to it. But it's really fun from a commercial success standpoint. You have to get to a certain size if you want to have a giant impact. Absolutely. So driving a business to really grow, be profitable, sustainable sales, all of those things, innovation. If you don't have that, you're not going to have the impact you want.
Dream collab, any artist, chef, athlete, who would you want to collab with and why?
I never thought of that one. I don't think I have an answer.
Oh, man. You have to get back to me then.
Yeah, I will.
Get back with a part 2.
Yeah.
You want to hit him with your famous last question?
I will.
Oh,
when
boy.
everything's all said and done, you've retired, what do you want people to remember you by? One word that you would want people to say you left behind as your legacy.
Empathy. I mean, I went through this program in Chicago called the Junto Institute, and it was a 1-year program, and we had CEOs. You had to have $1 million in revenue, so you all had a similar size or scale of an organization, but there are people at my table with $50, $100 million revenue companies. But it was an emotional intelligence program teaching you how to manage your emotions, be aware of them and then manage them. And when people hopefully see when I'm leading people in any office, they walk away and go like, I always felt like he was empathetic and thinking about what I'm feeling.
Nice.
I don't think we've heard that one. That's great.
That's excellent.
Thanks.
So the last segment we do, this is the Complete Life's Little Instruction Book. Okay. It's a book with instructions about life. There are 1,560 line items in this book about how you should live your life. So what I ask every guest, including yourself, is to give me a number between 1 and 1,560. You'll tell us the number, find it in the book, and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
What number?
21. That was my basketball number.
Okay. I don't think we've had 21 yet.
I don't think so.
Nice. So not page 21, number 21.
Oh, there you go. I'm not very good at this one.
Uh-oh.
Learn 3 clean jokes.
Yeah, I don't think I got any of those, huh?
No, I probably used to know them, but I feel like none of them are clean anymore.
No.
You got a dirty joke you can share with us?
I cannot.
Okay.
He's like, no.
There's one I learned at a bar the other day that just is not to be shared.
Okay. Maybe off camera one of these days.
Yeah.
Well, what I take from that is just try to be wholesome, be clean, and avoid profanity if you can. It just makes for a better time, I guess, because not everybody's going to be okay with that, and everybody's going to be able to stomach it.
Yeah,
certain
definitely.
situations.
You got to be kind of like a chameleon and be able to adapt to situations
around
and know your
kids and
audience.
stuff.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah.
well, perfect. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
Definitely appreciate
Like I said,
it.
this will be out this Sunday. So
Cool.
everybody at home, we'll have links in the description where you can go check out all of his brands, but also the All Cleveland Festival. We'll have a link in the description where you guys can purchase tickets and go check out the festival. It's going to be really good.
Yes.
We'll be there. I'll be there in shorts. He'll be there the whole time.
Talking to everybody.
Talking,
Right.
etc. So make sure you guys check out all his stuff and continue to support us. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Yep.
Anything else you want to throw in there?
Keep thinking.
Keep
There you go.
thinking. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. What's up, guys? It's Nick from Wishful Thinking Podcast. Always Hadley here as well.
Yes, sir.
Just want to let everybody know that we're looking for sponsorships. So if you are in the area or even nationally and you want to sponsor us, put some products in our video, we'd be happy to do so.
Anything from coasters, t-shirts, hats, flags.
Hell, you could give us lube, and I will put a bottle of lube right over here on our countertop. So just want to say, once again, if you're looking to sponsor us, we are accepting sponsorships, and we would love to showcase your brand.
Yes, sir.